Reporting live from Wild 94.1.
Me?
HD1.
Oh, HD1, Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota.
Wait a minute, man. We got to start this overseas.
But
man.
how y'all just put me on the spot?
Yo,
like
you
that?
were supposed to be
That's
ready.
the thing.
I mean, you don't think when, like when they're on the news, the other person at the desk ain't ready to jump in?
First of all, last time you told me not to do that.
That was because it was was a conversation.
That's our
This
thing.
is breaking news that just occurred
Oh, okay.
just now.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to try this again.
Breaking news from Wild 94.1.
Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota, Beasley Media Group Station.
HD1, forgot about that. Chris Brown is reportedly released on bail following his arrest over a 2023 nightclub bottle attack where he smacked that bottle across somebody's head.
Cross somebody's head.
Bow!
Look at God. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Or won't a lawyer do it?
What happened
For
to Hoodie
real.
Baby, though?
Listen, Hoodie Baby can stay in there. Hoodie Baby ain't got a tour that's getting ready to start. There are a lot of people who were worried about their August 2nd tickets.
Yeah.
And the tour starts on July 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not, on June 8th.
Well, and
And
he
he
also
was not
has
going to get his bail until June 13th, which means he would have missed the Stockholm date and a couple other dates that were
Exactly.
overseas. So now he can get out. I mean, the dancers and the band, everybody's still been practicing, but he can't.
He kind of needs to.
He needs to be out. He needs to be out. He can't be in there doing
Yeah.
his dance steps
1,
in
2.
jail. He's trying to
that
imagine what
dancing
it's
over
like.
there?
They're like, man, why this dude needs to get out of here?
Yeah.
He keeps dancing.
Well, so he doesn't have to stay in jail and sit there. Now he's out. Which
Breezy
is
is out. All right, there we go.
We have
Now
more breaking news.
Now we do.
Yeah, in case
What we got?
anybody doesn't know, that was this morning.
Oh well, yeah, that was
Yeah.
That wasn't break. We thought it was breaking, but it was.
Well,
it
the
was.
news came out.
It is
It's kind of
breaking news.
breaking.
It
It's kind of breaking. I mean, I just found out this morning.
Yes,
that Rod Wave is
What?
being accused of something that he ain't did.
All right, let's talk about the facts. Rod Wave was arrested yesterday
Yes.
in Georgia
Uh-huh.
for an alleged situation that happened last month on
He ain't
April
do it.
21st.
He ain't do it.
with his on and off again girlfriend.
Yes.
And he has 13 felony charges because of this incident.
Allegedly, he.
Well, I mean, he has the charge.
Right.
Yeah.
That part
That's
is real.
facts.
I was saying allegedly about what happened.
Well, I mean, basically, as a representative, of the legal team of Rod Darius, let me
yes.
explain to you that our client is leaning on the Elvis Presley / Richard Pryor law. That case law says that if said celebrity has purchased that item, that item cannot be discerned, ma'am, as destruction of another's property if it was on his African American Express card.
Okay.
And therefore, that pink wagon that he bought her for Christmas is his. So him shooting it numerous times means that he was just merely being frustrated with something that he purchased.
So we're just forgetting that he's a felon with a gun right now.
Right. Yeah. So that's
You're
also good.
snitching.
I'm just saying.
He was-
This court doesn't recognize snitches.
It was alleged.
He was arrested for firing 14 shots into his girlfriend's G-Wagon.
He stopped at 14 because case law says 15 or more is what keeps you in jail. That's why they gave him bond. He was
Yes.
bonded out at $50,000.
Uh-huh.
Rodarius, we on your side. No more relationships for you, pimping.
And it's
Let me just tell you something. I know you're a love song rapper, but
Right.
let me explain something to you. You don't need these women in your life if they're gonna drive you to crazy. Okay? You a good man.
we can take accountability for things and not blame it on, other
And
people.
you and Chris Brown both need to make sure that one of your security guards becomes the dude who knows what cities you hot in. Because apparently this happened a month ago.
It did, and he was
And then
just
he
arrested.
got popped in Atlanta.
That is
Don't
correct.
go to Atlanta if they looking for you.
So-
Hey, Chris, don't go over to London if they looking for you. Like, just don't do that.
There's a staggering list of charges with this incident. They include aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during a felony, pointing a gun at someone, criminal damage to property, reckless conduct, and tampering with evidence, just to name a few.
That's not right.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, but he bailed out real quick. So he's out of jail.
All right, so listen, it'll be fine. I mean, because I'm not an expert. even though I'm on the legal team.
Right.
But somebody did text in. They said if they let him out with 15 charges and $50,000 bond, that translates to me that they're going to drop these charges.
Yeah, I mean,
Now,
it could be.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but
I'll tell you what, if I was going back and forth with my boyfriend and then we broke up and then all of a sudden he shot up the G-Wagon that he bought me.
You just got to give that to God.
I'd be so mad.
That's just God's will
I'm
right
like,
there.
oh my God.
You didn't pay for it. I mean, hey, listen, I gave you that. Well, I don't want you no more. And your sex is wet. Guess what?
Oh.
Bow, 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 bow. You're not driving that. You can go out with another man if you want to, but you ain't driving that.
So
you better get your Yugo.
Just saying, so then why lie and say it was a robbery when it wasn't?
Is that what he said?
Didn't I tell you about snitching?
Just saying.
We just talked about you snitching. Now you just out here dry snitching.
Oh, that's right. He did say that. That's why he. Okay, I'm
Listen.
right.
Tampering with evidence.
Because somebody texted this morning that she did the shooting. We saw that.
No, it was a typo.
It was a typo.
How you know that was a typo?
Because she said it right.
And you in here snitching. Why she ain't snitching? Somebody said she shot up, and I'm like, oh, see, he was taking a rap for her. Tory Lanez. Shout out to Tory Lanez. Shout out to Tory Lanez. All right.
Her name is Minnie Barbie, by the way. She is in Atlanta.
Is she that fine?
She's very pretty. She's very
Is
pretty.
she that fine, though? I ain't never seen her.
That kind of incident, I don't know.
I mean, like,
She's
I'm
pretty.
not going to jail for some regular smuggler. If you got to be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, the other story, and I told y'all yesterday, I don't want to cover this every day, and I don't want to rehash it every day because Lord knows people get so. Somebody told me yesterday when I talked about the deal with Diddler. And I was just giving like the Sujin information and all that other stuff because we've talked about Sujin on the show. Y'all remember specifically when Young Thug, I mean not Young Thug, when A$AP Rocky's footage, and I told y'all that my man's office was right across from the Hollywood
And they had the footage of it.
And they showed up at his office and was like, "Hey, we need to see your cameras." Yeah. He was like, "For what?" And they wouldn't tell him for what. So he's like, "They got badges." I gave him the video, and then all of a sudden he saw it on the news. A$AP Rocky's footage is with it. He's like,
"Oh my God!"
He didn't know who that was. He just saw little bodies out there with guns.
The incident. Yep.
Right. So he's like, "Dude, I don't want any attention." He was like, "Now I got people mentioning me in a Diddy trial." So whatever. But this is going to point to that racketeering charge. Okay. And it makes a lot of sense. There was a lady on this. Is it 500 that you got it on right here? Is that what this is? All right. So this lady explains it because there was an incident that happened where Diddy got visibly kind of not upset, but just like uncomfortable about something. Yeah. He was like he sat through all of the nasty parts.
Right.
All the stuff that you've heard over and over and over again, the stuff that we're not going to repeat. He sat there stoically through all that. But there was a part where the reporters in the gallery, everybody who was inside, saw him kind of physically like, oh. And they didn't understand why.
And this is when Cassie was talking?
This is when Cassie was on the stand.
Okay.
This lady has a theory that makes a lot of sense and that maybe connects the dots from that racketeering thing. Check this.
Do you remember when Diddy started shaking his head last week during Cassie's testimony? And it wasn't when she was talking about the super embarrassing things. It was when she was talking about his aliases of Frank Black and Frank White. So she put those names on the record as names that Diddy used. It seemed weird to me that he would get upset about that, but I thought maybe he's just a narcissist and now people are going to realize who he was and what he was doing this whole time. But no, y'all, it goes way deeper than that. They released the photos of the evidence from the hotel room that he was staying in when they arrested him, and in the evidence was a prescription bottle for clonazepam, which is a Schedule 4 narcotic. It's kind of like Xanax, but not as strong, and it was written to who? Frank Black. And y'all get this, the address on the label was for Lifespan Medicine in Santa Monica, California. Lifespan Medicine is a concierge doctor kind of thing, so you have someone 24/7 you can call for anything you need, which seems something very much like he would have, right? So I'm assuming, this is just my opinion, that a doctor at Lifespan Medicine wrote this prescription for Diddy, but put it in the name of Frank Black, which is highly illegal. You can't write narcotics to someone in someone else's name, and you definitely can't put your address down as theirs. If the jury believes that Diddy used aliases to get drugs and to cover his track, it plays right into the racketeering charges.
Woo!
So when Cassie casually dropped those names last week, she didn't just out him. She gave the prosecution the string they needed to unravel this whole thing. Diddy shaking his head wasn't just denial. That was panic, you guys.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh, my God.
That's why he responded,
Oh my
because
God.
Frank White was the star of King of New York that what's my man? The
Christopher
cowbell.
Walken?
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken played Frank White. Biggie's performance, he was Christopher Wallace. He was, the Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, but he was also Frank White.
Yeah.
So Diddy assumed the role of Frank White after he passed away when he would check into places or whatever, but he also called himself Frank Black because it was him and Big, kind of like Batman and Robin. And so this pill bottle that they found, which, let me explain something to y'all. This is where Diddy is guilty.
Okay.
He said he went to New York. He's like, I'm here to turn myself in.
Yes.
If you come in and the feds are coming to get you because you have showed up to show them that you're willing to turn yourself in, do you bring all them bottles of baby oil? Do you bring all them drugs? This man basically was like, I'm coming to turn myself in, but I think we could squeeze in a freak off before I go to jail.
Yeah.
Because he had all the freak off stuff.
It's
He
like
had
an addict
pink dust.
Yeah.
They said he had
The
MDMA and ketamine. He had all those listed. He had drugs in there they got on the evidence pictures that are made out to Frank Black. But the address is that medical
And
center
that's
that she
illegal?
said.
That's
illegal
that's
because
fraud. Yeah.
I mean, in essence, you remember the other day when, and this is a totally different thing, but the other day when your gun trainer hit us up and said, hey, don't mention that. The thing that saves you in that place where people don't understand is that if you do have medicinal, but it's in the prescription thing with your name on the prescription, then it's legal.
Right.
Then you don't get caught with that. Now, if you just have it in your car just randomly out, now you're in possession of something. But if you have a prescription and it's to you, even when you go through TSA and all that stuff, they are looking for prescription bottles that have your name on it that matches your ticket, because then that can keep you out of trouble. Diddy got something on there that say Frank Black. Frank Black ain't even in the room. And then the address for Frank Black is a medical center in Santa Monica.
Right.
Like that right there is where that racketeering starts coming in.
Okay.
And the fact that he has been so abusive and heavy-handed with his dealings, and now they can factor all of that in together.
It shows a history of criminal activity.
Yes. Only criminals get that kind of love.
Wow. I wonder if they're going to talk to, I don't know, the doctor that prescribed everything, if they're going to.
Well, they're saying that
go ahead.
It's from a website where you kind of like, you have a doctor on call and you can just get that prescription from that website and then they send it to you. So
and
it's a pill mill, right?
A pill mill?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. But there's another thing, too.
What?
Guess who else is supposed to testify today?
Who?
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi.
Oh, that's a good one.
Kid Cudi. Oh, Davy just walked in. Hey, Davy, you don't talk about this snitch talk, do you? Davy's over there like, nah, bruh, miss me with that. You know me, I don't talk about snitch talk.
Oh, my gosh.
Kid Cudi about to go up there,
We're
and
gonna
they
know
say
about
his
everything.
testimony is going to be explosive.
Of course it is.
Just like his car.
You know why it's going to be explosive? Because Diddy allegedly blew that man's car.
Wow, that's insane.
Yes.
Man, I wish I could watch this.
Ah.
I wish it was live streamed.
I know I would do too.
So we also got other news too.
What?
We got an update on Tory Lanez.
What's up with Tory?
Tory Lanez actually has a congresswoman on his side right now, and she's saying, and I quote, this is what she put out on X. She said, "We have compelling evidence proving Tory Lanez's innocence, and it will be released within the next 36 hours. Those who rush to call for his incarceration and worse, yet pushed false evidence should prepare to be held accountable." And that's just one of her
Oh my God.
tweets. She had other tweets too saying that bullet fragments that she claimed that Megan Thee Stallion claimed was in her foot was never on the x-rays in the evidence that was put in. There's also evidence that's missing.
Missing evidence.
From the
like
entire...
the fragments, like the gun fragments.
They're
or
talking
something?
about, well, not just that. Like, there's other evidence that it's not on this.
You know they didn't test Kelsey for her DNA
her
either?
DNA. Yeah, they didn't test her for.
What?
They didn't test
her.
Kelsey.
Yeah,
They didn't test her.
Who did all this work?
Apparently, terrible police department.
No kidding. And
They
then
didn't check her DNA, but they tested his, and he urged his lawyer to test it again. He's like, man, I just don't understand how I'm the DNA that's on there. I didn't touch that gun.
Yeah.
So they went back and tested the DNA,
and he
had zero
It was
of
zero,
his DNA on there.
It was 0.04% of
Wow.
his DNA on there.
Yeah, that 0.4 ain't enough to be guilty.
no.
But Kelsey's wasn't tested. And Kelsey has an immunity deal. When she testified,
Yeah,
she
she
got
did.
an immunity deal. So they can't prosecute her
So what's going to happen if...
Unless she perjured herself. But if she has an immunity deal, I still don't think they can go after her. But what they can do is let him out because this is new evidence. You can't revisit it because that's double jeopardy. He appealed already, so you can't go back and do it again.
Who has to let him out? Who would
the
be
governor.
The person? Okay,
Governor
so
Gavin Newsom. So they got like a change.org thing with a couple 100,000 people on there.
Could Trump pardon him by chance? What if Trump pardoned Tory Lanez?
He's pardoned other people. He's pardoned ASAP.
Listen,
Kodak, right?
I mean,
Kodak?
I had a conversation. I'm not gonna get into that, but that's speculation. Okay. But I'm just saying.
I didn't know if
I have heard that. I've heard that.
Okay.
That
really?
Because the way it happened with not Tory Lanez, but I heard it about when one of my friends was talking about the diddler.
Okay.
And they said, listen, they said Diddy gonna go to jail. We know he gonna go to jail for something because everybody done seen everything.
Yes.
Fool going to jail. But after DJ T get done with everything he doing, at the end,
pardoning people.
That you saw Biden do it.
Yeah.
Biden pardoned people, ain't even been charged with stuff yet.
Yeah, like
his that's what presidents do. I mean, he got cousins and aunties that there's a long list of Bidens down the line. And he's like, y'all gonna find out something they did. So guess what? I'm gonna pardon them too.
Right.
So he pardoned a whole gang of people. Apparently, before you leave on your second term, when you know you're not coming back, you run it.
Okay.
And what I was explained to me, don't know if it's true. Somebody smarter than me said it. They said when you're president on the second term, you're feeding your coffers, your money banks for your presidential library. So anybody that got big paper.
Oh, okay, got you.
So that's at the end of his first term, Kodak Black ended up getting out.
Right.
People, you like, how the hell Donald Trump know these people? Because people go lobby to him and say, hey, well, you could let this dude out
we'll write you
because
a check.
this dude can give you a check.
Okay.
So if Diddler got all that money off buried in the baby oil factory yard or whatever, he can hand DJ T a bag and say, hey, man, I can put a wing onto your library.
Right.
Where you can fit that plane in there. And he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to let him out. He's a good guy.
That would be...
Because he's been to some of them parties.
A bad look. Yeah, he has definitely. No,
Back
there's
when
definitely pictures
remember,
of it.
Diddy loved The Apprentice so much, he created his own BET version of The Apprentice and ran it for his assistants.
I don't really see it going that, because of everything that Diddy's done. I don't think he would want anything to do with him. But I didn't know.
What did Kodak do? What was he doing? He was just drugging, right? He didn't hurt nobody. Except himself.
It's himself. That is correct.
He got caught with drugs.
Yeah. But they don't pardon anybody until the end.
It has to be
he can't do anything now.
So if he go to jail, he'll be in there a couple years until 2023.
So Newsom would be the person and the only person that can pardon Tory and get him out of jail.
Yes,
there's nobody
because
else.
he can't go back to court.
Gotcha.
Because you've already used your appellate rights.
But now that he has new evidence, it could open up the case, and that's why Representative Anna Paulina Luna is calling for his pardon.
Anna.
Really? Anna did that?
You know Anna?
Yeah.
Anna's she's
from
Florida.
here.
She's
Yeah.
I don't know her though.
I mean, I don't know her, but
okay.
I mean, I know people who rock with her campaign.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
I wonder if we can get her on the phone.
She big in on the guns
ma'am.
too. She like the guns.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want to support, like, share, subscribe.